Hi FlossTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Robin and this is my channel Lady Robins, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm thrilled that you are joining me today, and if you're a returning friend and subscriber, welcome back. I'm just as happy to have you here. It is Saturday, it is the 18th of June, and this is my FlossTube number 118, so that works out perfect, don't you think? Yep, it works out. If you are just joining me for the first time, this is a FlossTube channel where I talk about my stitching, and I just do cross stitch. I'm not a knitter, I'm not a crocheter, so all you're getting here is cross stitch. I don't want to say I will never do those things, but at this exact moment of my life, cross stitch is where it's at for me. So let's talk about stitching, shall we? I hope you have a beverage. I have mine. This is my mug of the day for us here. And this one is one of the Disney World Epcot mugs. So I'm having brewed coffee in my Epcot mug. This is my second cup of the day, so I am revved. So let's have a beverage together, shall we? Nothing like a good cup of coffee. Okay, let me set that down and out of the way of all of the stitching. How have you guys been? Have you had a good couple of weeks? It's been, I think, 2.5 weeks since I've been able to film. Life just got busy as it did the last time I filmed, so I will update you on all the life things at the end of the video. And let's talk about stitching to start with. I have some FOs, some finished objects to share with you, and I thought I'd start with Snowflower Diaries. So hopefully you can see how cute this is. This is the July Snowflower Diary, and it is stitched on 32 count Lakeside linen vintage butter pecan. I am doing all of them, and I just had the best time stitching this little guy. It's surprising how much stitching there is in this, because there is quite a few color changes, so it's not a speedy stitch. It takes a while because you do have to stop and start and, you know, change your floss. And I'm not good at color completing. I like to, you know, stitch something and then, you know, count off what I've stitched, and then, you know, do the next color and then count off what I've stitched. So I'm a pokey stitcher, so I'm pretty proud of the fact that I got this finished. And I was trying to find in my calendar when I started this. I've got my calendar here in front of me. I think, when did I start this? Well, I started it on the 8th of May, according to my calendar, although I have had, between the 8th of May and now the 18th of June, I had about 3 weeks where I didn't get any consistent stitching done. So I'm thinking, for me, this is a pretty quick, pretty quick progress. So I did use as much of the fancy floss as was called for, as I had in my stash. And what I didn't have, I just used the DMC, because there's, you know, there's not lots of big areas. So if you don't get the variegation from the fancy floss, it's not a crisis on something this tiny. But I did, like I said, I've got to finish on this. I just love these little guys. And I always, every time I show Snowflower Diaries, I always get questions in the comments, which is fine, totally fine with me, on how to find those patterns. If you haven't watched my previous FlossTube, floss number 117, I go through step by step in that video on how to find those patterns. So if you need to find those patterns, just go back to my last video, 117, and I tell you exactly how to find it. And it's towards the beginning of the video, so you don't have to wait through the whole thing to get those directions. So I'm going to need to pull, I've saved all of the patterns, they're freebies, onto a flash drive. And so I need to plug in my flash drive and see what's up for August so I can get that done. And I'm hoping to take that with me. My family is going to go to Maui for a 2-week vacation in July. So I want to bring the August Snowflower Diaries with me if I haven't finished it already, which knowing me, I won't. So it'll definitely be coming. That'll be a fun stitch. So I'll need to kit that up, but I've got the fabric, it's already cut. When I started this project, I just cut all 12 pieces of linen so they would be, you know, ready to go, bang, bang, bang. I wouldn't have to figure anything out, you know, later on. So I did get that ready. They usually have pretty much the same colors month by month. There's, you know, there's a few extras, like on this one, I think the pink for the flamingos I had to add to my floss ring, but you know, it's easy to kit up since they use, like, the border is stitched in the same color on every chart. So anyway, that's my FO on July Snowflower Diaries. So that was super fun to stitch. I was happy to get that stitched. The next thing that I worked on since I saw you last is I am still plugging away at the Sunny Days from Prairie Schooler. And I was able to complete, I think the dog just came in, the door just opened. Hi, Pumpkin. Hi, sweetie. You can't see her, she's down on the ground. Okay, I know you're home. Oh my goodness. Goodbye, Angie. Anyway, sorry about the dog interruption there. I know that when I started working on the Prairie Schooler Sunny Days, I had completed 2 last year, and I wanted to get at least 2 more stitched this year. And these 2, kind of the seagull and the sailboat, I'd already stitched up, and I just left them in my project bag. And now I have done the lighthouse and the crab. And I've decided that those are the 4 I'm going to FFO to put in my dough bowl on my dining room table. When you come in my house, my dining room is immediately to the left of the front door, and so I like to kind of dress that up with a little bit of cross stitching. So I want to get these FFO'd. I need to look through my fabric stash. I don't have a very big fabric stash. I'm not a quilter, so I just pick up little packs at you know, Joann's or Michael's and see what kind of navy blue and reds I have. If I have to, I'll go, you know, buy a quarter yard or something. They're at one of those shops, or we've got a little quilt shop downtown Kent. I live in the Pacific Northwest, in the Seattle area, so Kent's a little south of Seattle, so I live in that little suburb. And anyway, there's a really cute quilt shop in downtown Kent, so I can go down there and find something if I don't have anything available for finishing in my stash, but I think I'll do okay. So on this, these guys are stitched on a 27 count white Linda fabric, nothing fancy, and I did all the called for DMCs. So these were fairly easy in terms of the cross stitching, but the back stitching these little things, that was a brain teaser. I had to really concentrate hard to get those cute little back stitched borders going. In fact, I think it was the crab. I think I had to frog this guy out 3 times before I got it right. I don't know what the problem was, except that I was probably stitching in front of the TV as I do, and I just could not get it right. So anyway, in the end, I got it right, and I just think those back stitched fish are really, I mean, I think that is so clever. I just really love the Prairie Schooler. They're one of my favorites. I just really appreciate their attention to detail. And then on this chart, there's kind of like a nautical area, and then kind of a hometown area. You've got, a house and a watermelon and a bee skep. So I thought I'm just gonna start with the nautical ones first, and then I can do the others maybe, next year or the year after if I like. But you know me, it's, I like water. I like water and sailboats and lighthouses and waves and all that cool stuff. And oh, you guys, I don't know if you're in the Seattle area, or I don't think it made the evening news, but we had a -4.5 foot negative low tide here in the Pacific Northwest. It is the lowest it has been in 13.5 years. So my goodness, I drove out to the little marina about 10 minutes from my house. I picked up my parents and took them with me, and we went and looked at that low tide, and my dad said over and over again, "Thank you so much for taking me. This was so amazing." And we never walked down on the beach. That would have been too treacherous for them, but they sat in the car, and it was crazy how far out the water was. So I never got back there to see the high tide, because the high tide also was, like the tide was, what was it, like, I'm trying to remember what the news said. I think it was like 15 feet. I mean, just these huge swings. So if you were in this area and you got to see that, I mean, just what a treat to see such an amazing swing in the tides. It was really spectacular. And they had naturalists down there on the beach telling people what they were experiencing and looking at. I just thought that was fantastic. It was so fun when you get to see those things, and the water pulls back so far that you're seeing things that you don't normally see. So anyway, enough about water. As you can see, I really like the beach and the water and the ocean and all that good stuff. So anyway, back to stitching. So what else have I stitched on? I stitched on 2 other whips in the last 2.5 weeks. So let me show you where I got to on those. These are ones that you've seen over and over again. So I'm sorry that if you're here and you're like, oh my gosh, it's the same darn whips, but I'm trying to make progress on them. So let me show you where I got to. So this is Huckleberry Farm by the Blue Flower, and this is one of my whip go calls. So besides the fact that I want to make a lot of progress on this, because I am going to go to the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit down in Portland in September. Janine McGowan, who's the designer for the Blue Flower, she's going to be there. So I really want to make a good amount of progress on that. So this is where I am at on this. So I've only done 1 day of stitching in June on this. My whip go goal is 5 days, but in the 1 day I was able to put these chimneys on the house. So the house is complete. And then I'm starting to work on this little grassy area, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's a little grassy area. So with the fence and the bee skep and the bear. So I'm looking forward to getting those done. And then I'm hoping that that the alphabet will go quickly, so I can make some good progress on that in my in my haste to show off to Janine that I'm stitching one of her patterns, I was hoping that I would have it done by September so I could put it on the brag table. I don't think that's going to happen, you guys. I'm too pokey. I'm not a rapid stitcher, and usually I get about 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours of stitching in the evening after, you know, we cook dinner and finally sit down and relax. So I've only gotten 1 day in, but that's okay. June isn't over. We'll get more stitching done, no trouble. The other thing that I am stitching on is Harbor Haven. And Harbor Haven is my 25/7 stitch, and this is a big guy. And I am on chart number 3 in Harbor Haven, and there's 12 charts. And when it was originally released, it was a monthly sal, and you were supposed to, you know, stitch each of these in a month. And I kind of think if you were doing that, that must have been all you were stitching if you completed it in the year. There's no way I could do that, but I'm happy to be slowly stitching on it. If you've never heard of 25/7 stitching, it's where you take a piece that you want to make progress on. Not that we don't want to make progress on all our pieces, right? But you take a piece, you stitch on it 7 days a week for either 25 minutes or put in 25 stitches. You decide what your 25 is. So for me, I just do 25 minutes. And so this is where I've gotten to on Harbor Haven. And this is hard to wrangle. So this right here, this all filled in, that's chart number 2. And then chart number 3 kind of starts right here. And so when I picked this up, I had the red building done, and I had started working on the water. And so I'm working over here, kind of the edge of the island, and then there's going to be a tree that will go up, and then of course there's going to be a little sailboat back in there. And so all of this right here, this will be quick and satisfying. This is water fill-in. So I just have to sit down and just stitch in those yummy blue colors. This is on 32 count sea foam color linen by Weeks. This is the old Weeks, so this is pretty floppy stuff, you guys, but it was exactly the color I wanted. And so Weeks came out with their new fabric, I don't know, maybe a year after I started this, but that's okay. It's working okay. I'm using these magnetic ties to kind of hold my fabric away from my stitching area, and you know, it's going well. This is a super fun, satisfying stitch for me because there are big blocks of color, so you end up making quick progress on certain on areas like that water fill-in. That will go really quickly. So I'm looking forward to doing more on that. So I try to do my 25/7 in the morning before I go to work, which means that really it's more like 25/5. I usually am not able to stitch on the mornings when I have to be to work at 9 a.m. But that's okay. I just do what I can. And some days I will try to make up my 25/7 and have, like, you know, an hour and 10 minutes or so, an hour, you know, hour and a half, if I can, where I will just work on this and then I'm like, okay, I just filled in 3 days. But, you know, it's all a numbers game, right? But you know, it gives me joy to do it, and it's okay if I make my own rules, right? Because it's my stitching, so I get to do that. So, oops, gotta put my pattern back. I'll be sad next time I pull that out if I can't find that. Let's see here. All right, so that's all my stitching. I do have a little bit of haul to show you. So let me do that. I got my latest pattern in the monthly Bird Crush Club, and if you saw my stitching last week, you saw that I was able to finish the what is it, the broad-billed hummingbird. And so our pattern this month is called the Western Meadowlark. So that's what this bird looks like, and they always send you a nice card with information about that bird on the back. So this is the latest pattern by Stephanie, who is Lindy Stitches. And so there's our cute meadowlark, and I am looking forward to stitching that guy. So that was fun to get that. The next thing that I have to show you is another monthly club that I am in, and I received 5 golden rings, and this is one of those Crazy Annie clubs. This is the 12 Days of Christmas Stocking Ornament Club. Say that 4 times fast, right? So I have not started any of these, but I think there's kind of a trend to start stitching Christmas in July. So I'm thinking I'm going to start those now that July is here. And who knows, I might take the first one with me to Hawaii. So I'm thinking about that, because I'm definitely taking, as we said before, I'm taking Quaker Turtle with me to Hawaii. I'm definitely going to take the August Snowflower Diaries. And then I can't decide what to take after that. Probably Huckleberry Farm. That's plenty of stitching, right? I'm only going to be there for 2 weeks, for crying out loud. So that's what I'm thinking right now. But Quaker Turtle for sure. That's going to be my main focus, is Quaker Turtle. I'm not going to take Harbor Haven. Let me just show you the flosses. That's how many flosses are in Harbor Haven. I've got it, you know, I've got it all bobbinated. I'm using all the DMCs. So that's just too big to take over there and, you know, wrangle that box and put it in luggage and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna, Harbor Haven's gonna have to stay home. I'll have to find something different for 25/7. Maybe it'll just be it'll maybe be those little stocking kits. Bounce between that and Snowflower Diaries. Anyway, that's where I'm thinking right now. Anyway, got way sidetracked there. Let's see here. The last time I videoed, I was telling you about a little stitching meetup group that we have. Let's see, how many ladies did we have? We did 8 or 9 ladies that joined us, and we just we stitched for, gosh, I think it was 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours. It was super fun. I got good progress when I was there, so that was fun. And our next meetup is going to be July, I'm looking at my calendar, July 24th. So if you're in the Seattle area, feel free to join us on July 24th, Sunday, July 24th. We will be stitching again. All the information about that is on the Pacific Northwest Stitchers Facebook page. So you can go there, join the group, and get the address and all the details, right? So there's that. I have one more piece of haul to show you. I was watching, I think it was Susan Stanley was stitching this chart, and I couldn't buy it fast enough. It is called the Sampler Maker by With My Needle. And so I just went straight onto Etsy, found a seller that had it and snapped that up. But because I was doing that, I decided, well, no chart can travel by itself. So I also bought Quaker Samplings 6. I just thought these were so sweet. So I picked up that, and then I also picked up Jardin Privé, Heritage. So I have 3 new charts, which I'm very excited about all of them. They are just so beautiful. I just loved them. So that's the end of haul for me. I also have been doing some reading, so I thought I would catch you up also on what I am reading. And then I've got some giveaways, and I've got past giveaways to announce the winners. So let's do that after I talk about what I'm reading. So I have finished a couple of books since last we got together. I finished this, A Flicker in the Dark by Stacy Wilmingham. And this is a thriller. This is a good one. This is a psychological thriller told from the point of view of a woman whose father has been convicted of being a serial killer. And so how do you reconcile the fact that everything you've known about your dad your whole life, now you have to look through the lens of thinking of him of being a serial killer? It's a good one. There's a couple good twists and turns in here. So if you need a good thriller, I would highly recommend Flicker in the Dark. That's a good one. The next thing that I have picked up is Mouse, and this is by Spiegelman. What's the guy's first name? Hold on. Art Spiegelman. And it's a graphic novel, and it is Art Spiegelman is writing about his father's experience during World War II, and you know, the Jews are the little mice and the Nazis are the cats. This thing, I was reading it right before I went to bed one night. My brain wouldn't shut off. It is well told. The artwork is fantastic. So I would highly recommend Mouse, but it's not an easy read. You know, spoiler alert, it's about World War II. It's about, you know, the Jews being tortured and imprisoned. So it's not a comfy read, but well worth it. Well worth it. I like it. So, okay, so those are the 2 things that I can hold up for you. And then I read a contemporary romance called Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and that was fun. Picked that up at the library, and I've already returned it. So that was a quick fun read for me. So if you need a cute little contemporary romance, there you go. Book Lovers. Liked it. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about giveaways, shall we? On my last 2 floss tubes, on each one of those, I had things to give away, and I have pulled the winners. So 2 videos back, I was giving away Winter Witches by Bendy Stitchy, and this is a sweet chart, and I love it, and I feel a little bad giving it away, but when things open up in my life, I can buy it again. But that is going to Karen MR, and Karen, thank you for filling out my Google form. I've got your address, so I will be popping this into the mail for you as soon as I can. And then the one giveaway from my last floss tube is I'm rehoming a whip. And so I am rehoming Home for the Holidays by 4 Boys and an NL Girl Design. So this one. And the winner on that one is Jessica, is it Maslovsky? Jessica Maslovsky. So Jessica also had filled out my Google Happy Mail form. So I will be again popping that into the mail, and I will do that as soon as I can get to the post office. So maybe later this week, I'm hoping. Cross your fingers and all that good stuff. And then I thought that was so much fun. I'm kind of enjoying passing the stash along. So I've got a few more things that I thought I would like to send to you guys, and my pile just went timber. So give me a second to grab everything back together. Okay. There's one more. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Just digging around here on my desk. Sorry about that. Okay, so I actually have 5 charts to send out to you. So here's how it goes with charts and giveaways on my channel. I have a Happy Mail form, which is linked in my show notes. So I need you to go in there, put your name, your address. If you have a different name, you know, like I'm Lady Robbins, right? So make sure that you put that in there so I can cross-reference your name with your YouTube name if you have one. If you don't, just your name is great, right? Okay. Just remember, these aren't sponsored by anybody. This is just stuff that's in my stash, and it's a one-of-a-kind, probably. I won't replace it if it doesn't get there, because I'm just going to put stamps on it, and I'm going to send it out, okay? If it doesn't get there, I apologize. You know, it doesn't have any, you know, it doesn't have any insurance on it. That's what I'm saying. So, you know, just know that, you know, I've only had one where it didn't make it to the person, and I don't know what happened. And so if that happens, I apologize, but I'm not making any money on this, just doing the thing. So there you go. So fill out the Google form, and we'll be good. Okay. So what have I got for you? So I have got a couple of things that, came out of subscription boxes that I know I'm not going to stitch. So I'm thinking you guys might stitch them. So the first one is from Summer House Stitchworks, and this came out of the Black Needle Society Steampunk box. So really, really interesting chart. I love the choice of colors. I just know I'm never going to get around to stitching it. So if you would like this one, I'm just going to do numbers this time, you guys. So put the number 1 in your comments. Okay, so that's number 1. The second one also came out of a Black Needle Society box. I think this is, what was it? Mermaids, unicorns, and dragons, or, you know, some combination of those words. So anyway, this is by Autumn Lane Stitchery, The Beauty and the Beast. So if you would like this, say number 2. Okay, number 2. That's number 2. The next one, this one actually has 2 charts, and these are both by Needle Art by Wendy, and I don't have the complete set. I've got part 2 and part 3, and so I'm gonna just put those together. They're cute little pillows, and I think a viewer might have sent these to me, I think, and you know, to share with you guys. So I've got what I've got, which is, you know, like I said, part 2 and part 3. So again, this is number 3, so put number 3. Number 4, this is something that came out of my stash. I remember buying this, and this is an old chart. It is by Eileen Bennett, and it's called Southern Sampler. Okay, and look at the price on this thing, you guys. It was $5. So this has been in my stash for a long, long time, and as cool as it is, I'm never going to get there. So this is number 4, and it can be yours. And then last but not least, again, is something that's been in my stash for a while. I don't think I ever stitched any of these. They're super cute. It's by Sisters and Best Friends, and it's Whimsy Christmas Ornaments. So get those up. So there's a number of little tiny Christmas ornaments that you can stitch. And so that is number 5. Okay, number 5. So just put in the comments 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can put in for one of them, you can put in for a couple, you can put in for all 5. I'm only going to let you win once though. So just know that, because I want 5 different people to enjoy these. I'm going to put them in a mailer. I'm going to put some stamps on them, and away they'll go. Because of that, I'm just going to limit these to US only, because I've got some stamps, and I just don't want to have to go to the post office and weigh everything out. So on these this time, US only, guys. Sorry to my international viewers, but that's what we're doing. So I hope that you like these choices, and good luck to all of you. What else have we got to talk about? I think that's all for stitching, so I'll just do some little life updates. So if you're just here for stitching, you can peace on out, and I'll just tell you what's been going on in my world. My son graduated from high school a week ago. His graduation ceremony was 8:30 a.m. on Sunday morning. The pavilion where they do the or I guess the convention center where they do the graduations, they rotate through the 4 high schools that are close to us, and this time his high school got the 8:30 slot and not the the nice relaxing 4 p.m. slot. So at 8:30 in the morning we were down celebrating my son graduating from high school. So that's really fantastic. In fact, he's probably already out of the house now. He's got 2 graduation parties to go to today. So yeah, so we're moving forward, and so college is the next step, and that's gonna be a whole new world. So congratulations to my son for graduating high school. So I'm super happy for him to have completed that milestone. The next thing is, sadly, we got the biopsy report back on the dog. It's cancer. The dog has cancer. So my husband and I have decided that we are going to go and take her to a doggy oncologist. We have both agreed, though, we are not going to do crazy extreme treatments. We're just going to go see what they say, because right now she actually is acting fairly normal. She wants to go on walks, she's eating, she's drinking. The other day we looked out in the backyard. We have raised beds in the backyard. She hasn't jumped up on the raised beds in forever, and we looked out and we're like, the dog's on the top of the bed. So she still has some spring in her step. She's still doing all the things. The only thing that's concerning is we found another abscess on her gum. So the fact that it has grown back in a couple of weeks is alarming. So we just want to go see what they tell us, and then we can make decisions at that point. So that's not fantastic news. So there you go. We have gotten the car fixed, though. When we pulled the passenger mirror off the car, that's good. That's been handled. So the car is back in one piece, which is great. The not great part is, while we were down a car, I had to drive my son's car. His car is awful. We'd bought one of my parents' old Buicks for him, thinking, my parents bought it brand new, single driver. We knew my dad took it always down to the Buick dealership for any sort of repair. This car is falling apart around him. So we're gonna have to look at buying a new car for him, because I actually was afraid driving it. At one point, the stupid car was on the freeway and it was surging. The engine was surging. And then when I got off the freeway and I was at the stoplight waiting to go, then it started vibrating. Oh, it was terrifying. I said to my son, I don't know how you drive this thing. And he goes, like, I have a choice. Yep. got it in one, my friend. So we have to we have to go car shopping, and there's nothing my husband hates more on the planet than shopping for vehicles. So this will be way too stressful for him. He hates it. Hates it. So anyway, and speaking of my COVID, of my husband, right before my son's graduation, he ended up with COVID. He tested positive. The CDC guidelines say you are probably not contagious 5 days after the onset of symptoms. Onset of symptoms was 4 days before the graduation. So my husband did not get to attend high school graduation. He stayed at home and he watched it. He watched the live streaming. So that was too bad. He is, he's better. I don't know if you can hear it, but he's outside cutting the grass. It's hard to know with him. He has a cough, and he also has really awful allergies. In fact, I'm a terrible wife because I should be mowing the grass. He's allergic to almost all grasses and hay, and he has, almost debilitating hay fever and, blah, blah, blah. So he coughs all the time. He's always coughing. So it's really hard for us to know, is the cough that he has now, is this the COVID cough or is this his allergy cough? Because, right? And then of course, even though he doesn't have any of the other symptoms, those are all resolved and he feels fine. He's just got this stupid cough. He's still testing positive on the COVID, the little at-home test strips, which I've heard you can test positive for 3-4 weeks after the end of symptoms. So we're just masking when we leave the house because that's what we're doing. But when he was in the height of COVID, when he knew he was definitely contagious, we were sleeping, he was sleeping in the bedroom, I was sleeping on the air mattress in the family room, everybody was masking in the house, 24/7, and we just stayed as far away from each other as we could in a one-story house. So anyway, that's your life update. So it's been a little bit of a whirlwind around here. So that's where we're at, you guys. I hope you have all had a good couple of weeks, that things are going well for you. I hope you're getting to stitch as much as you like. And I don't know if you noticed, but I chopped my hair off because when we go to Hawaii, I wanted shorter hair so that when we go snorkeling, it's not going to be all over the front of my face mask. So that's why I chopped my hair, and I kind of like it. Look, you can actually see that I have earrings on. Yeah, and you know what? Look at that. Yeah, it's a sailboat. I told you I like water. Okay, you guys have a fantastic day. I hope you have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day tomorrow to all the fathers out there, and I will see you, I hope, in a week. Okay, you guys have a great day. Bye.